guys, and welcome to Dragon Exotics. Now today we have some Halloween events in store. I said it, some Halloween events. And we are gonna start off the day by doing some pumpkin carving. Is that a cat I see? Maybe perhaps a mouse? The mouse is joining us for the pumpkin carving expedition. Anyways, we're gonna start off the day with pumpkin carving, and then we are probably going to smash some of these pumpkins. Yeah, you'll find out why later, so just keep watching. Probably finish off the videos with some tips and tricks for Halloween and safety with pets, and then we'll be doing a little Halloween event. So stay tuned. But for now, let's talk about pumpkin carving, because it's fun, that's why. So, first thing you gotta do if you want to carve a pumpkin is you gotta find a pumpkin. Doesn't matter how. Just gotta get some pumpkins. Once you have that, then for one, if you want to carve your pumpkins when they're in good condition, I do recommend you do not have your birds around your pumpkins, especially if you have big birds like macaws, because their beaks are sharper than these little things, and they will puncture your pumpkin and cut it, so they can have their own pumpkin carving fun while you don't get to do anything. So you can give your bird a pumpkin to carve if that's your intent, but if you want to carve it, maybe keep it away from the birds for a little bit. So that's a tip. The next thing you're going to want to do is, can't really see too much, but I have paper towels lined under the pumpkins, because pumpkins are super messy. And in order to make them super messy, you need some of these tools. Ah, yes, these tools that you get at Walmart and Fry's, all the stores that sell them for like $5. You end up breaking them every year. At least I do, usually. Yeah, they're kind of flimsy, but they work well. So, you want to make sure you have these, and here is what not to do with your dangerous little cutting items. I want to carve a pumpkin with my bird. Let's see how I should go about that. Hello, Fumble. Would you like to go and carve a pumpkin with me? I'm gonna sit at the table and you're gonna be so calm and sit on your perch and not mess with me at all, right? Yeah? What if, let's give you this tool. You're gonna help me carve the pumpkin, right? Because it's totally safe. No? Wanna try again? All right, here, Fumble, how about you do the carving? Because that is totally a safe thing to do. Nope, I'm not letting you throw the sharp object. The point is, guys, if you have sharp objects around your birds, especially birds like this one, the chances are, as you're moving and doing all this stuff, let's see if she'll do it for the video, because we all know she'd do it in real life, she will try to grab it. And if she's trying to grab it, that means that there is a possibility she might try to grab the sharp end, which can cut her, and nobody wants an injured bird. See, look at this. Look at this. There's dangerous on all levels. See, she even ripped part of it off. That just shows you. She'd probably rip this whole sharp thing off to begin with. So, if I were you, I recommend leaving your birds in a separate room if you're gonna carve a pumpkin, just because it's safer for them, and it'll keep your pumpkin intact, because we all know if you have a big bird, they're gonna be trying to pick it with their beak, just like she's picking my mouth. So let's get back to carving. Now that you know that, let's move on to the bowl. The bowl is very precious. It's not for holding candy today, no. But it is for holding the guts of the pumpkins, because, I mean, you can use a little trash bag, woo, but I feel like a bowl is way easier to put all the guts in before you use a trash bag, because it's just super messy and it's easy to consolidate in there. And especially if you want to use the seeds, I use a second bowl because then I can sort through all the guts of the pumpkin and grab out the seeds. And you can give the seeds to your birds raw, and you can bake them for yourselves. If you're baking it for yourself, I really don't recommend you give the baked, nicely seasoned one to your birds because they're fine with it raw. And you don't want to risk putting any seasonings on there that could be hazardous to them, especially if you don't do any research beforehand. So just give them the raw pumpkin seeds. And you can offer them some of this pumpkin. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Anyways, let's get right to it. The last item you're gonna need is a pen because I like to draw my design on the pumpkin. You guys can use a stencil, but it's really whatever you want to do. And yeah, I'll probably be looking at my phone a little bit during this time lapse just because I like to do my design prior so I can kind of draw it off when I'm done. But yeah, let's get right into it. Had once tried to get the wild pumpkins, but they had ganged up on Maverick the cat. He had fled, and it is now time for us to make our revenge.
All right, let's do it.
Just kidding, guys. We're breaking it up so it's easier for the animals to eat.
And so, I just like destruction.
Yes. You should probably face that way.
Just face this way so
Yeah.
I can turn my tail?
I mean... Let's move around this way.
Oh, this way. Okay.
Yeah, this is great. We just don't want to hit each other. That's the point. You guys got to be safe in this video.
Yeah, safety. Number one, wear proper PPE and whatnot.
And not sandals. This is what not to do when smashing a pumpkin.
Wear protective glasses, gloves.
So I hope you're ready. Yeah! Oh, this is harder than I thought.
Oh man, I'm
Oh,
stuck.
no.
I got stuck.
Oh no, my pumpkin's rolling away.
You need the mallet.
Oh no, I can do this. Oh.
I think it's done.
No, keep going. We need it in small pieces.
Jeez, Faith, I don't want to bend down.
So far, you guys can see the progress. Wow, this is great.
You want to see my progress? Here we go. You're having fun there?
This was a poor idea. Oh no. Gotta get it in half. I thought this was gonna be easier.
Have you thought about the mess that we've made here? Cleaning it up?
Yeah, simulated.
Cool, alright.
Yeah,
Safety first, which is why I'm going to throw this pumpkin up and swing like a baseball bat.
That's a bad idea.
Ah!
It worked. And that was how not to smash a pumpkin. Remember guys, make sure you wear personal protection so you don't destroy your toes. Don't wear open toe shoes. Try to wear goggles if you can. You can wear gloves so you don't break your fingers. Make sure you're a proper distance from each other. Remember, this was a how not to smash pumpkins video. But the point remains the same. The pumpkin is smashed, ready for Stinky to eat, and I think we should bring him out here. What do you say, Michael?
I say, bring on the tortoise.
Let's do it. Here's Stinky. He's ready for some pumpkin.
I don't think he wants the hammer.
He doesn't want a hammer.
He's a little confused.
He's very confused.
How about we motivate him? Come on, Stinky. You can do it. You got this. It's delicious pumpkin.
Tsunami, would you like some pumpkin? Oh, jeez. Oh, of course you would. She is crazy. Oh, don't. Oh. This is supposed to be a nice thing. Instead, we got a crazy lizard. He's trying to get all the pumpkins. No, you can't eat that big of a piece. I have a nice amount of cut up stuff for you. There you go. Eat the seeds. Don't eat my fingers. You can't eat it like that, friend. Wanna eat some of this? No? I'm not telling you can't eat that piece. She is really determined. She's going for it. Here we go. Well, that was unexpected. Here's an updated shot. I just cut up a bit of it and put it in her bowl since she was really excited. As you can see, she's totally shedding right now. Got that humidifier running. And she is having a time. Can I help you with that? It's a little stuck together. No? Okay. I guess enjoy it. It's a little stringy. I'd rip it apart. Well, hello, Ember. Would you like some pumpkin? Look at that delicious pumpkin. It's amazing. No? No? Okay. Well, I'll let you get to it when you'd like. Anyways, you may be wondering, why in the world did I go and feed pumpkin to all my animals? You'd be like, yeah, you see pumpkin around during Halloween season, during November for, pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. But what is the actual purpose of pumpkin? Why is pumpkin fed to a lot of animals, and why do we eat pumpkin? Well, one of the simple answers to that is that pumpkin is very nutritious. Like, it's... Oh, fumble. Pumpkin is full of plenty of vitamins. Right here, we've got the body of the pumpkin, or the meat. We've got the guts, and we've got the seed of the pumpkin. And all of this makes up a beautiful, nice, healthy heaping of vitamin B6, vitamin A, beta carotene, other minerals, fiber, protein, just a whole, I don't know the word, a whole makeup of all these different vitamins and nutrients. And so when your animals eat those, they're getting all those nutrients. And when we eat them, guess what? We're getting the nutrients too. So pumpkin is very nutritious for animals and humans. In addition to that, animals can eat the entire pumpkin. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend feeding the stem. Might not be the most appealing, but they can eat everything else. Now, the seeds of a pumpkin and a bit of the guts, I would say, act as a natural dewormer. A dewormer, you say? No way! Well, that's right, guys. I said a dewormer. Now, don't get me wrong. If you suspect that your animal has worms or is acting strangely, don't just go feed them pumpkin. I still recommend seeing a vet. But if you have a healthy animal and you may be like, I wonder if they have worms, or, I wonder if I should get them dewormed. If they're healthy and it's just a thought that comes across your mind, maybe feed them some pumpkin seeds every once in a while. And it's a natural dewormer, so it's not as strong as the medications that we create, but it is definitely something that may help with that. Hello, Ember. So that is something to keep in mind. Now remember, even though it is a dewormer, you don't want to just go feed them pumpkin seeds every day, because you got to look at the ratio of nutrients. So if you're feeding this to a tortoise, or let's say an iguana, the pumpkin seeds, though they act as a dewormer, they're very high in protein. So you don't want to give a lot to them. If you have a big tortoise who could just eat the pumpkin seeds whole, they might not break down the pumpkin seeds in their body. And in order for the pumpkin seeds to act as that dewormer, they have to actually be not cracked open, but they have to be broken in a way so their body can properly digest it. Oh yes, fumble. So you've got to take into account the calcium ratios of the actual pumpkin, the protein levels of the seed, and everything when feeding it to your animals. In my opinion, I think once to twice a year is a fine interval to feed pumpkin to the animals, because you're not giving it too often. And, when you're eating pumpkin, when you're carving pumpkin, it works with your schedule to give it to them. And it's healthy. They get all the nutrients. They get maybe a dewormer for the month. And they're happy and healthy. And it tastes good. So as you saw earlier, Sinky loved it. Tsunami went crazy for it because she's just crazy. Oh, my animals are crazy. Yes. I will admit, even though my animals do get the whole raw pumpkin about once a year, I do give these guys, my lovely Fumble and Ember, I do give them the dried pumpkin seeds that you can buy at the store because it's a good training treat. So I do offer them pumpkin seeds more than the other animals, and that's okay to do. The protein content is fine for them in the pumpkin seeds if you give it as a treat. And you know, based on my diet video, as long as you're not giving pumpkin seeds or other seeds all the time, most bird seeds in ration are fine for training, fine for the small purposes you use them for. And I think that's about all I have to say about pumpkins. Fumble, you are crazy today. So just to sum it up, if you guys kind of zoned out, we talked about the pumpkin, how it's very nutritious, has plenty of vitamins, minerals, and fiber in it. The seeds are natural dewormer, full of protein, and overall they're good for both humans and animals. So it's great to feed them. If you ever are questioning whether an animal can have pumpkin or not, I do recommend researching it because yeah, it's kind of important. So keep that in mind. But with that, I think we'll head over to our next section of this video. Thank you, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome back to this part of the video where we talk about tips and tricks for how to handle your animals during Halloween. Oh man, birds flying everywhere, creating chaos. Isn't that right, Ember? Anyways, so one of the first things I wanted to mention is candy. Now, we all know we have candy during Halloween, and we all love candy because candy is delicious and we love chocolate, but we're humans and we can have chocolate. However, you guys may have heard, don't give chocolate to your cats, dogs, other animals. Well, the same goes for birds. Bye, Bubble. The reason that you don't want to give chocolate to your birds is because it's highly toxic. And when I say highly toxic, I mean 100 grams, like 100 grams of chocolate can kill a small bird. And that's pretty scary to think about. And it doesn't even have to be that much. Even a little bit of chocolate can cause dangerous symptoms for your birds. So you want to make sure that they are not getting into it. And the reason why chocolate is so toxic is because it has a compound called theobromine. And this compound is essentially found in cocoa beans and most of the products that we buy that have chocolate in it. So, and usually the sweeter it is, the more of that compound that will be inside of it. So that is something to take into account if you want to keep your birds safe and healthy. Hello, buddy. Yes, you're so cute. But yeah, so here is an example of what happens when you leave your chocolate out. Is that a chocolate thief I see? Ember, chocolate's bad for you. You know this. I know you're angry, but you can't have chocolate. You know better. Yes, you do, sir. You know better. All right, next, we're gonna talk about Halloween parties. And this is one big category, I would say. So all these tips and tricks are really about if you're having a party or you're having guests over. It doesn't even have to be a party. If you're having guests over on Halloween or any event, you want to keep in mind that the doors may be opening and closing constantly. And some people may leave the door open for the next person to come in. So there's a lot of things going on. If it's cold outside. Oh, you're right. It's a Halloween party. I'm gonna leave the door open because I'm a person. Yeah. Outside, it's bringing in cold air. Another thing is if your birds can fly, whether they can fly or whether they can just waddle around, your birds can escape, and that is dangerous. If your birds can get outside, whether they're trained or not, it's not the best situation to have to worry about. And so it's really better to rather than just informing your guests that you have birds over, it's best to keep them in another room at least temporarily while you get everything situated, just so they're safe for everybody who is coming in and could cause potential hazards. In addition to having the door open and closed, it also could be a hazard if your bird is waddling on the floor and you have a tiny bird. What if your guests don't see the bird? And it happens. It happens more than you would think. And so your bird could be waddling on the ground around the door because they're interested in what's all happening, and then somebody might step on them. And that could be painful and dangerous and possibly even kill your bird. And then your guest and you and the bird they won't be happy. It would be a horrible situation. So play it safe and put your birds in another room while you're waiting for everything to kind of calm down a bit. Another thing with putting your birds in the room or another room is that some birds get stressed pretty easily. No Ember does. And so some birds are chickens and some birds just, you know, they shake a little bit, they get scared, and we'll just do that. They shake a little bit, they get scared, and you want to have them non-stressed during your party. I mean, yeah, it's a Halloween party, but that doesn't mean the bird should be scared the whole time. That's just not right. So you want to make sure you put them in another room where they're going to be, it's going to be quiet, calm down. The bird doesn't have to freak out about people touching it and yelling and doing whatever you guys do at a party. I don't have many parties, so I don't know. But as far as the door being open, those are some big factors. And now, here's the subject of Halloween parties. You know, we did mention don't leave your candy out. Now, if you're having your bird out and you're having a Halloween party, well, I mean, either put your bird away or know that your candy probably shouldn't be out where the bird can get it, because we already talked about why chocolate is dangerous to birds. And that same goes for any special drinks that you might have. And I'm not just going to say for like alcoholic beverages and stuff. If you have that, you want to make sure that that's out of the range of these guys. And you also want to make sure if you're having like even like an ice cream fruit punch mixture deal, you don't want them getting into it. I mean, not only is it going to contaminate the fruit punch with any bird germs, but it may make them sick as well, because remember, you don't want to be giving a bunch of sugar to your birds. It's not good for them, and it can make them sick or extremely, extremely hyper in Fumble's case. So in the rare occasion she accidentally gets sugar. So yay. Let's see. Anything else that you might have out during a Halloween party, whether it is the fruit punch, any other sorts of foods that they could ingest that may be toxic to them, you want to be aware of, because you don't want your birds ingesting anything toxic. So far, if you're having a Halloween party, want to make sure that door stays closed, either make sure the door stays closed or that your birds are in another room. Either put away all your food, which is kind of, well, what's the point if you're putting away all your food just for your bird's safety? Just put the bird in another room for the party. It'll make your life so much easier. It'll be great. Just keep your birds safe. I think that's the point here. If you're using some sort of fogger machine, I personally think it's safest if the bird's in another room, so they're not really exposed to all that, because you don't know what that machine can be producing and if it's safe for them, and they have very sensitive respiratory systems, so it's a good thing to keep in mind. And then additionally, that does go for that stringy cobweb stuff that you have around, all those stringy decorations. If your bird is flying around, you don't want them to fly straight into it and get tangled up and maybe strangle themselves, because that is not good and that is dangerous. So really, all this boils down to is keep your birds safe. And if you're throwing any sort of party and you know that there are going to be things there that could be hazardous to your bird, either keep them in the cage temporarily, or preferably keep them in a cage in their other room temporarily, just so they're going to be safe during this process. Oh, Fumble, yes. So that is, I'd say those are the main tips and tricks for Halloween. Oh my, okay, there we go. But Oh, fumble. Now, you also don't want to be scaring your birds with costumes. You don't want them eating the makeup off your costumes. You don't want them pulling out your earrings, whatever you may have. So, birds usually don't like being dressed up. So if you guys are like, I'm gonna dress up my bird, I've tried putting a little hat or something on Fumbles because I wanted to, you know, just for a tiny picture. She doesn't do it. No, most birds don't like it. So you don't have to dress them up for Halloween. Better not to stress them. You want to keep them happy. And yeah, I'm trying to think whatever else may be important to think of for Halloween. The big thing that I've just been trying to go over for this whole time is one, if you're having a Halloween party or guests over, make sure your bird's in another room. Make sure that they can't fly out the door, waddle out the door, or get trampled. Make sure they can't eat any chocolate or other food that may not be good for them. Make sure that they can't eat your costumes and ingest any rubber from your costumes if you're wearing something like that. Make sure they can't eat your earrings. Make sure they literally just can't get into anything that is dangerous to them. And the best way to do that, as I've said numerous times in this video, is put them in another room. Somewhere where they'll be safe the whole night. And then you can hang out with them the whole time the next day. Or bring a guest into that room if they really want to meet your bird and get some interaction. Thank you, Ember. But I think that's the main gist of it for Halloween. If I think of any more tips and tricks, yeah, then I will tell you guys probably maybe next year, maybe in the comments. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments what I'm missing, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong with birds, so I'm sure that I've missed some. But those are the really big, important things to keep in mind. And remember, no chocolate. None. Nuh-uh. Theobromine, that compound, not a good thing. It can be deadly. If your birds do ingest chocolate, make sure that you take them to the vet, so the vet can handle the case appropriately and help save your bird. It's very important. Oh my goodness, guys. Birds are crazy. Just gonna say that. All right, well, I think that's it for this part of the video, and I think we're gonna go do our Halloween event, and we're gonna be bringing these guys outside, but don't worry, even though it's cold outside, they're gonna be near the heater in the car, so everything will be safe. So I will see you guys in a minute. Bye. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed our Halloween video. And to end the night, I think I'm gonna go do a trunk or treat with the birds. Remember, if you're bringing your birds out, you gotta keep them warm. So I'll see you next time, and I'll post the picture to show you how it went. Bye.